What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is Sunday, March 30th. We have a 13-game slate on tap today. Just a quick recap of yesterday. I didn't make a video, but I did put my one play on Twitter, and it was a parlay. The parlay had the Yankees with the spread, the total points over 8.5. Both starting pitchers, we had the under for their strikeouts. And then we had three different batsmen having two total bases, that being Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, and Jazz Chisholm. We put that all in a parlay, and we played 10 cents on the parlay. And it turned into a $110 winner. So, look, every day you're not going to get stuff like that. That was just me winging it. I had a long, busy day yesterday, but today we're going to get into it. Let's jump into it. Like I always told you in the last few videos, I do my research ahead of time. I don't have to sit in this video and spend 35 minutes explaining to you my research. Just fade me if you want, make the picks if you want, but let's jump into it. Our first game on tap today, we have the 2-0 Phillies going up against the 0-2 Washington Nationals. We're going to be taking Philadelphia with the spread here. Our total points of 8.5 will be playing the under. We have two batters we're going to be playing for two total bases today. And that is Baum from Philly, Alec Baum, and then Wood from the Nationals. Starting pitching props, we have Aaron Nola, we have him over 5.5 strikeouts. And Parker from Washington, we have under his 4.5 strikeouts. Next, we have the 0-2 Milwaukee Brewers going up against the 2-0 New York Yankees. And we'll be playing the Yankees money line here. We're going to be taking over 8.5 total points. For our three players, we'll be taking two total bases. We'll take Cherio of Milwaukee. And we'll take Jazz Chisholm of the Yankees and Paul Goldschmidt of the Yankees. For strikeouts, we have Strawman going over the Yankees starting pitcher. Strawman, we have him going over his 3.5 Ks. And Clave, the Brewers starting pitcher, we have him going under his 4.5 strikeouts. Then we have the Baltimore Orioles, who are 2-1, going up against the Toronto Blue Jays. Today, in the final game in the series, we'll be playing Toronto money line. We'll take the under 9 total runs scored. Three batters for two total bases. Santander of the Blue Jays, Springer of the Blue Jays, and Holiday of the Orioles. Also today, for the starting pitching strikeouts, Baltimore Orioles pitcher Shugano, the Japanese pitcher, we're taking his over 2.5 strikeouts. Real quick, I said I wasn't going to do a breakdown, but I did do research into his Japanese career, and he does get some good amount of strikeouts. So the 2.5 is very low. I get it, it's his first start, but it feels too low of a number. And then Bassett from Toronto will also play his under 5.5 Ks. Moving on, we have the San Francisco Giants 1-1 going up against the Cincinnati Reds, who are also 1-1, of course. We're playing Cincinnati's money line here. For our two total bases, we'll just be playing two batsmen in this game. We'll have De La Cruz of the Reds, as well as Chapman of the Giants. For strikeouts, we're going to take Ray over 5.5 strikeouts. And Martinez will take his over 4.5 strikeouts. So overs for both starting pitching in this game. Then we have the Colorado Rockies and going up against the Tampa Bay Rays. They're also tied series 1-1. We're playing Tampa Bay's spread here, 1.5 points. We're going to be taking under 8.5 total runs scored. For the batter props, we're going to be taking two. We'll have Caminero of Tampa Bay. We're going to play him as well as Lowe from Colorado. Then we move on to pitching. We'll be playing Bradley from Tampa Bay over strikeouts and Feltner from Colorado will be taking his under. Then we have the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Miami Marlins. No player props in this game. Sorry, everyone. But we will be playing Miami winning this game. They're already up in the series 2-1. We have Miami taking it again. And we'll be playing the spread 1.5 points. And we'll take the under total runs of 8. So once again, no player props for the Pirates Marlins game. Next up, we have the Cleveland Guardians versus the Kansas City Royals. We'll be playing the Kansas City Royals to cover the 1.5 points in the spread. We'll be playing this over 7.5 total points. We have 3 batters for 2 total bases. We'll be taking Jose Ramirez of the Guardians, and then Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez of the Kansas City Royals. Michael Wacha of the Kansas City Royals will be taking over 4.5 strikeouts, and Tanner Beebe of the Cleveland Guardians will also be playing over 4.5 strikeouts. So both pitchers over 4.5 strikeouts. Then we move on to the Los Angeles Angels versus the Chicago White Sox. We'll be playing the Angels, covering the spread here of 1.5. We'll be taking under the total points of 8.5. We have 4 batters in this game for 2 total bases. We have Benintendi of the White Sox, Luis Robert of the White Sox, T. Ward, and Mike Trout of the Angels. Now, the Angels starting pitcher, I cannot fully pronounce this young man's last name. Jack Kacha, I'm not going to butcher it. Jack, starting pitcher of the Angels, will be taking over 2.5 Ks. Davis Martin of the White Sox will be taking his under 4.5 strikeouts here. Moving on, we have a series that's relatively surprising me right now. We have the 2-0 St. Louis Cardinals facing off against the 0-2 Minnesota Twins. We're going to take St. Louis here again, covering the 1.5 points. We'll be taking under the 8 total. For the batter props, we have 3 players. We'll be taking Arenado of the Cardinals and Nootbaar of the Cardinals as well, and Correa of Minnesota. For starting pitching strikeout props, we'll be taking Bailey Ober of the Minnesota Twins. We'll be playing his under 4.5 strikeouts. And then Palent of the Cardinals will be taking over his 3.5 strikeouts. As we continue through, next up we have the 1-2 Boston Red Sox going up against the 2-1 Texas Rangers. And here we'll be playing the Texas Rangers money line. We'll be taking under 8.5 total points. For our 2 total bases, we'll be taking Abreu of the Boston Red Sox. We'll be playing Jock Peterson of the Texas Rangers, as well as Corey Seager of the Texas Rangers, I should say. Next, we have Richard Fitz of the Boston Red Sox. We have him going under his 3.5 strikeouts. We'll also be playing DeGrom under 6.5 strikeouts as well. So both starting pitching unders for their strikeouts. Next up, we have the Athletics going up against the Seattle Mariners. Athletics getting the first 2 games of this 4-game series. We're taking Seattle here to cover the spread 1.5 points. We'll be taking under 7.5 total runs. For our 2 total bases, we'll be taking Garver of the Mariners as well as Robles of the Mariners. For the Athletics, we're taking Rooker here. For the pitching strikeouts, we'll take Sears of the Athletics under 4.5 strikeouts. Wu of the Seattle Mariners will take his over 5.5 strikeouts. Then we move on to the Arizona Diamondbacks facing the Chicago Cubs. And we'll be taking the Arizona Diamondbacks money line here. We'll be playing under the 9 total runs. For our 2 total bases, we'll be taking Marte of the Diamondbacks as well as Carroll. For the Cubs, we'll be taking Kyle Tucker. For the pitching props, we'll be taking the under for both pitchers, Boyd and Rodriguez, under 4.5 strikeouts for both pitchers. And finally, our last game of the night, the 3-0 Padres going up against the 0-3 Braves. A bit surprising to start off. We'll take the Braves to avoid the sweep here. We'll cover the points as well, the 1.5 points. We're going to play an under here, an under of 8 total runs. For the Braves, we'll take Ozuna and Matt Olson for the 2 total bases. For the Padres, just Manny Machado. For our pitching props, the Braves starting pitcher, A.J. Smith, will be taking his over 3.5 Ks. Nick Pivetta of the Padres will be playing his under 5.5 Ks. Thank you guys for watching the video. Really appreciate it. I saw in the last video we got a few likes on it. I really appreciate that. I'm going to try to upload every single day. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.